Welcome back to the Today Tally Podcast. We have a very special guest joining us today, folks. That's right. We have a Purple Heart recipient, two-time Purple Heart recipient, U.S. Marine combat veteran, a machine gunner. And we're going to find out a little bit about his past and where he is at today. Because I tell you what, folks, this man is truly making a difference out there. And, I want to call this show a call to action. He's looking for some help. He's looking for some resources. He's looking for some sponsors. We're going to find out why here shortly. But first, I need to give a huge shout out to my friends over at AM 920, The Patriot Talk Radio, Houston, Texas. Folks, this is the newest radio station in Houston, folks. This will be lighting up Texas as well as the nation. You can listen live, you can listen local, you can listen nationally, folks. All you gotta do is just download the app. You're in San Diego, you're in Richmond, Virginia, you're in DC with the swamp. It's okay. Just go to your phone, get the app. AM 920 Patriot Talk Radio. They are based on faith, family, and freedom. My great friend Matthew Velasquez has got a great business plan, and they are looking to take this industry by storm. They do have some syndicated talk show guys like Todd Starnes and Dan Bongino. They also have an awesome morning show from 6 to 8. Guys, go check them out. AM 920 Patriot Talk. But look, let's get back. Oh, do you see my shirt? Hey, these guys have got some pretty awesome shirts. Look at that. AM 920 Patriot Talk. And let me show you the back. Like them or not, hey, I'm just gonna share the back with you. I mean, look at this, right? It says, I like my presidents like I like my guns. 45 Patriot Talk Radio, AM 920, Houston, Texas. Like I said, give them a shot. They're great folks over there. Let's get back to the show. Now, Justin Wess, two-time Purple Heart recipient, U.S. Marine combat veteran. What is up?
What's going on, Tally? Appreciate you having me on the show.
Ooh. You doing all right this morning?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How'd you like that shirt?
That shirt was awesome. I like it.
Yeah, dude, you can't go. Look. Love him or hate him, that's a good shirt. I mean, come on, right? It's a good shirt.
I'm gonna need to get one of those.
My great friends over at Patriot Talk AM 920, they've given me these shirts. I was at one of their galas, about a month or so ago when they had Todd Starnes flew into town and gave an awesome keynote speech. And, I tell you, these guys are going to be turning some heads here really soon, not only here in Houston, but in the state of Texas and on a national level. They've got some great plans, and I'm happy to be somewhat a part of it. I'm happy to be out, helping promote their radio station, if you will, to get some new listeners in there, for folks like you, that could even go on someday and, share a story or two and, really inspire others out there that may need, lifting up in these crazy times we're living in.
Absolutely.
So, Justin, you are a U.S. Marine combat veteran, two-time Purple Heart recipient. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I joined in 2002, and then I went to Iraq in 2003, 2004. I think we went to Baghdad actually in 2003, 2004. We were right outside. And then we came back, and then we went back over, and 4 or 5. Then we went back over in 2006, 2007, and that's when I got. That's when I was with 2-6, and we got hit. I got hit with just myself and my truck. We got hit with 11 IDs, 1 car bomb, and 1 RPG in a 3-month period. So we were the lead gun truck, so we got hit the most. But that's where I got the 2 Purple Hearts. But we kept going, like we always do. So we finished that tour up. We came home, and then they sent us back out and back out to Iraq again for another deployment. Same exact place. We went back out there. It was a reserve unit that took over for us. And then when we went back over, we took over for them, and we did another push through Fallujah. And then when I came back, I had to get a whole bunch of tests done, and then I found out that I had 3 bruises on my brain and a couple other things wrong, and so they pulled me out and started my medical board on me.
So, safe to say, you've got some traumatic brain injury from, the 11 IEDs, a car bomb, and an RPG that you saw in combat.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so many, just common folk out there don't understand, taking 1 RPG is like, holy cow. And then you add 11 IEDs of that and a car bomb. And, you're getting rattled, and, shake, rattle, and roll, and, I know that can do a lot to a man. And, it'll forever change who Justin Wess is. Now, what did you learn in combat?
The main thing that you learn is you always watch out for the man next to you. I mean, we're over there, everybody's basically family. You have to watch out for the man left, right of you, and they're looking out for you. So no matter what, you have your 6 always covered, and treat everybody as family, and you'll get treated exactly the same way.
It's almost like we should be treating people in the country, right?
You would think.
Treat people with respect,
treat people
earn it, of course, earn it, and and then deliver it back, and it's a good way, right? It's Semper Fidelis, right?
Absolutely. Treat people how you want to be treated.
Absolutely, man. So, I want to stick to this combat here for just a few moments, because I think a lot of people are probably like a little intrigued, like, oh wow, like, that's a lot to take, for a man. Has combat changed the way you think and the way you look at life?
Absolutely. Since coming back, I know I'm a lot. Like when you go into restaurants, I have to go in the corner or, sit my back to a wall. I don't like big crowds. Like when me and my wife, we have 3 kids. So when we get to go out, it's always go out during the day. We can't go out during the night. There's just too many people. So we have to go out in the daytime with less crowd, have like a lunch or like an early dinner, and then we're out, come back home, and then we're usually home for the night. So, it changed me a lot in that way of living, where I can't live so carelessly. So it's more like I'm always on alert that something's going to happen, or I'm always watching people or anything like that. So, that's the biggest thing is just being around crowds, watching people, just being super nervous and always thinking the worst is going to happen.
So your mind's just constantly just playing tricks on you.
Absolutely.
And, that has, post-traumatic stress. Safe to say that, you've got some of that.
Oh, absolutely. I know I do. People are like, no, I don't have it. I fought it for years saying I didn't have it, but I know I do. You can't say you don't. You have the symptoms.
You said fight it. Like you fight a war and then you come back here and you fight, right? You're always fighting. Marines are always fighting, fight, especially an alpha male.
Yeah.
Describe that fight when you're here back at home.
It's more like, you almost don't want to feel weak, but you want to, I don't know how to say it, but you don't want to be like the weak guy. So you're always fighting it like nothing's wrong. I got this, I'm good, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. But on the inside, you're always like, man, like I don't feel, I don't feel right. This isn't right. All right, watch this way, watch that way. All right, my kid's playing over there on the playground, and my other kid's playing over here. So you're always watching, and everybody's like, it's all right, everybody's here, everybody watching, but you're always like, man, something could happen. This guy could do this, this person could do that. It's just always, like you say, it's always a battle in your head on, you're always thinking the worst case scenario that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you live a very hyper vigilant life.
Absolutely.
Now, has your family, a lot of families, right? I know you've got kids and you've got a great wife. Sometimes it's really hard for a family to kind of not accept, but to kind of go along with their loved ones' post-traumatic stress. Like you say, you do a lot of things different than the common family. You go out during the day, you don't like big crowds, you don't want to go out at night, you're very hyper vigilant, you're a protector. That's what you do. You're a protector. Has your family really bought into your lifestyle now being so hyper vigilant because you're a protector, or are they like, oh man, he's just always just, like we can't go do this or we can't go do that? I mean, like, how's the family? How's the family life?
Yeah. So I know when I got out, I was a lot worse than what I am now. So like a lot of people, that I've noticed, they get out, they're like, they take the meds that, when you get out, they give you, and then they usually get off the meds and then they start drinking. And that's what I did. And then I met my wife, and then my wife literally changed my whole entire life to where I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her, because I was going down a dark path. She was like, it's either me or the booze. And I quit cold turkey. And, she worked with me with everything and got me off a lot of my meds that I didn't need to be on. And we started working with the VA with my shrinks and everything else. So she helped me out a lot with that. And then now we have all of our kids now, to where I feel like I'm in a lot better space, or I guess a lot better spot than I was when I got out because of my wife. So I feel like she kind of molded me back into somewhat of the person I used to be, and not what I came out as, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's a huge testament to your wife, and to your family.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of wives, they leave. This life isn't for me.
No, man. My wife stuck by my side the whole time. She's a saint. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I know if it wasn't for her, I know I definitely wouldn't be here. I mean, I was in the bottle a lot, and she took me out of everything. So, I mean, it's changed my whole entire life since I met her. So I'm more than grateful.
That's awesome. A true blessing. Again, faith, family, and freedom.
Absolutely.
To sum up Justin Wess and his family. Now, typically when you quit something, that is feeding or deflecting, say, the pain that you're experiencing. So you're drinking because you are deflecting the pain. You don't want to feel the pain, so you're numbing it. But that numbing is just temporary, and it ends up causing more problems down the road. Now, what have you replaced your drinking and your bad habits with? Have you created some sort of good habits?
Absolutely. Like when I first got out, I went to Wounded Warrior Battalion. I started up cycling. They shown proof that cycling helps with traumatic brain injury, since you're always on the move, thinking, shifting, doing all that. So me and my one buddy started it up in the East Coast, and we started the Warrior Games, and we did all that. But when I came out of the Marine Corps, or when I got out of the Marine Corps, when I actually retired, we had to find something that basically would put me back in the same adrenaline rush or endorphin drop, whatever you want to say, as I would be going out in the green zone, because that's where my head is always at. That's where my body functions the best at. I have to be going at 100 million miles per hour. So when I got out, I found racing. So I found ATV racing, which the quads are in the back. Mine's on this side and my son's on this side, but we found racing. And when I got out, I was on 26 meds at one time. And now, 10 years later, we found racing, and now we shrunk that all the way down to 6 meds now. So ATVs definitely has helped me in the recovery, in the recovery situation with my meds, and I'm a whole different person when I race, my wife says. So racing season, I'm a whole different person, but then as soon as racing season stops, I don't have that outlet. So I'm a whole different person when racing stops. So, but yeah, absolutely. I found ATV racing to help me out so much with recovery.
Yeah, and like you said, that ATV, off to your left shoulder there, that's your son's.
Absolutely.
So it's something that you can do together, father-son therapy. And that's a lot better way for your son to get to know you, as a father, as a strong leader, to go out on a track together and make these awesome memories, because a lot of kids are growing up around a father around the bottle. So you quit that. You ditched that bad habit. You've brought in a very good habit, and you're teaching your son the right way. Because, look, let's face it, there's a lot of kids out there that are growing up in some really broken homes right now, that are hurting, and they're watching their father or they're watching their mother just drink constantly, so you could have been that dad.
I would have been that. Absolutely.
Easily fallen into that trap and become a victim. And you've got a lot of good reason to. Well, 11 IEDs, a car bomb, an RPG, combat vet. You've seen a lot of stuff that most people will never see in 10 lifetimes. And here you are to tell about it. Yeah, you've got some TBI, you've got some post-traumatic stress, but you stood up and you said, nope, I ain't going to do this anymore. I'm going to take my life back. I'm going to start getting 1% better every single day. And it's beginning right now. Cold turkey, I'm done. And this ATV, along with my wife and family, is going to save my life.
Absolutely.
And when you're racing, or when you're on the back of one of those ATVs, you are live again. You are alive. You are getting that adrenaline therapy that you used to constantly get, that kept you in that crazy state over in Iraq. You're getting that again, but you're in a safe zone. But this is a good this is a good state of adrenaline. It's not that really scary state of adrenaline to where, you're like, holy cow, like, fight or flight. This is something that puts a smile on your face rather than, puts a frown on your face and makes you more of an angry man, like when you're out there fighting in a combat zone.
Yeah. Like everybody else on the starting line, whenever you pull up to the gates come up, and then before the gates drop, they're just, as soon as you barely see them, you can just hammer it out because they're going to drop so fast you go over for the whole shot. But everybody else I talk to, they're like, man, my heart's fluttering, or everything's going so fast, everything's going this, going that. And it's actually the opposite for me, to where going down through staging and everything else, my heart's racing. But then as soon as I get on the line where I pull in, and then the 2 card comes up, everything goes quiet and everything just slows down for me, to where my body is just super relaxed. and everything just completely just slows down. So I feel like I almost have a kind of an advantage because I'm not hyped up. My arms ain't twitching. I'm just holding in the clutch and just looking at it, and everything is just pure silence, and everything just goes in almost slow-mo. And then I just take off and do the whole shot. And in the whole race, it's like so peaceful. Like we're racing and I'm battling, and, I'm looking left, looking right, and there's 18 to 20 quads wide, and we're all going into a hairpoint corner, and maybe 3 quads can fit in the corner, and you're just wide open going to the corner, and it's just peaceful to me, to where I'm going in, and then after the race, everything comes back to normal. So everything comes loud, everything is moving around, but during that time of racing, it's just so peaceful to me.
That's, when I was in high school, I wrestled, and you just explained exactly what it's like to be on the mat.
Oh yeah.
When you walk up, like when you're preparing, everything's, loud and crazy, and you're like, oh man, I'm getting ready to go one-on-one with this dude. And, you got your headphones on, you're trying to get amped up and pumped up. And then you walk up and you shake hands. As soon as that whistle blows, get it on, everything just goes. It really goes dark and quiet. It is the craziest feeling. And I know exactly what you just painted is how it was when I wrestled. It's the same feeling. And, you talk about getting that endorphin rush, and that adrenaline therapy. And, like you said, man, it's almost, like you've got a big advantage here, You say it's peaceful. Well, yeah, it's peaceful. I mean, you spend, half your life getting shot at, getting blown up, bombs exploding everywhere from you, dodging RPGs, you got bullets flying over your head. This is easy. And it's probably made you even more of a crazier rider, because you're like, dude, I've been through a hell of a lot more shit than that. I'm taking this corner fast. And that's why you're so damn good at what you do.
Yeah, there's definitely a turning point on. But now, before it was no kids, now it's kids. So now it's like, I'm 40. So it's like, I gotta back it down, look at it, and kind of, I'm still going to hit it, but it's like,
yeah,
all right. I do got kids. I got to come back. I got to be able to walk. I've got to be able to drive the RV home. So
look, you're thinking so much clearer now, because that ATV, you've taken 20 pills completely out. You only have the 6 now.
Yep.
And, you're like, well, I've got the family, I've got to, but dude, you could tone it down and still beat everybody, because that's basically what you're doing out there on the circuit right now.
I'm trying to. I'm telling you that. We're working on 3 classes right now. We got the Warrior class, which is a new class that they brought in the ATV world. It's military, active or reserve, first responders. It's a whole entire class for ourselves. So we can just go out. It's a race, but it's more just like, brotherhood, just getting out there, trying to find other people to bring them in to see if this will work for them. Maybe somebody's hurting like I was and don't know that this is, a good therapy for them, or, anybody, a firefighter. I mean, it could be anybody that, first responder or military. Come to the track, bring a four-wheeler. There's a class for us just by ourselves, and we race it. But I raced that one. I raced a 30A class, and I run the 40A class. So, but yeah, we're doing.
So it's a big community, of, folks that are just like you, so that camaraderie is definitely, a big part of what you do.
Yeah, we're trying, like I said, I mean, you got the race family, and then you got the regular family. But when you go to the races, I mean, it's pretty much like you're going to go see family. You see them every other week or every 3 weeks. You all park together, like we park with a crew of 5. So we have 5 people that park next to us, which is really cool because they all have kids. But now we just bring like one dinner. But then, next person will bring a dinner or a lunch or a breakfast or, so you don't have to pack 4 days worth of food. Now you just pack basically one, but you make enough for, the other 5 crew or 5 other families that are coming with us. So it's basically a massive family. So it's a really good time.
It's a lot like the Marine Corps.
It is.
It's one big family unit.
Absolutely. Everybody will help anybody and give anything to anybody that they can. So,
man, that's awesome. So your kids are completely growing up around this, and they're growing up with like-minded kids too. They probably all ride, and this is something that they're going to look back on in their childhood and say, "Damn, that was a freaking awesome childhood we had."
Yeah, my kid, this one over here. It's so funny. I just got pictures from Moto Mom. She takes all the pictures at the Nationals. And there was like 6 pictures on there. And my kid's just fist bumping all the kids coming down and all the older kids going on the line, fist bumping them, telling them good luck. It just brings a smile on my face that, I'm teaching them right to where I don't have to tell him to go do that. He's down there by himself. He's gate prepping people. He's making sure all their gates are all stepped down and fist bumping them. And it's just, it just brings a smile to my face that he's been around good people and, that he's doing it on himself. You know what I mean? I don't have to tell him to do it. So
he's a prospect. He's putting in work.
Absolutely. He's always there, he's always battling. He's always up, even if he loses dead last. He gets mad at himself, but then he gets up. But then he's out there playing with the kids, telling them good job, still fist bumping everybody. So it just, makes me feel really good.
Yeah, it's like fishing. You get skunked, you had a great time. Yes. If you catch a fish, you had a great time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like racing. You're doing something that's it's such an amazing hobby. And again, it's a adrenaline filled endorphin rush racing, competing, so really you lose, you still had a freaking phenomenal time. And I get it. We're all competitors, man. We are driven. We're drivers. We want to get out there and win. But if you don't, it's like, man, look, there's more to this too. I'm not on ESPN right now to where this is like my, like my main career here. This is something that I'm doing to help improve the quality of my life, as well as improve the quality of the life of my family through my actions and my behavior and my good hobbies and all that stuff. And when you're done, it's a party. You've got 5 other RVs pulling up. You've got dinner. You've got probably s'mores with the kids. And they're all, dude, it's amazing what you have done and the transformation that Justin Wess has made. I mean, really, you are a walking, talking success story. And I believe that the American people out there do owe it to folks like you that have sacrificed so much for this country. I know right now you're looking for some sponsors because this is not a cheap go round, if you will. There's a lot of traveling involved. There's a lot of gas expenses involved. There's so much involved out there. And there's so many great American people out there that donate to causes all over the country. And I think that what you're doing is very worthy of being recognized. Now, how can our listeners help you and your mission?
Yeah, I mean, we do the national series. So, I mean, it is a lot of money to travel and to race and race gas, everything else. Going to tracks. I know it's going to sound like a lot, but it's probably like $1,000 every time we go to a race with food, gas for the RV, race fuel, getting in, race fees, everything else. It's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts to even get there. Like I said, we race nationally. So like we go to Florida, we have to go to Texas, we go to Indiana, Illinois, PA, Ohio, Tennessee, and think there's 2 other places, but anything helps for the cause at all. But
how, if say, I'm just going to throw this out there. Say if AM 920 Patriot Talk Radio here in Houston wanted to sponsor you or to help donate to your cause for a race or 2 or whatever it may be, how can people contact you to get that connection and to get that transfer?
Oh, thanks, Kelly. I was just my brain's just when I.
Oh no, you're totally good, man. Like I said, man, I'm here to help you out. You're a great guy. Look, you're no stranger to this podcast. I know you're a big listener. I know your wife is awesome. She listens a lot too. And this is your second time on the show. I think the first time I had you was over a year ago. And the transformation I've seen between back then and now, I mean, folks, it is magical what you can do when you put your mind to something and you say, I want to be better. I want to make change. I want to make positive change. It can be done. And there's so many combat vets out there, first responders, anybody who has struggled with any sort of trauma in their life. Guys, there is hope out there. And right here, Justin is that beacon of hope. So how can we connect with you? How can people connect with you? How can they get you that sponsorship and those funds that you need to continue doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so they can get a hold of me on my email. It's Wess, WESS _ Justin, JUSTIN @yahoo.com. Under Facebook, if you want to private message me, it's under Justin Wess. The picture is me, my wife, my kids, and Santa Claus, so you can't really miss that one. So that's my cover page on my Facebook.
Santa Claus, yep, they won't forget that one.
Won't forget that. If somebody wants to do anything with PayPal, PayPal is Wess, WESS _ Justin @yahoo.com. But
what I'm doing right now, Justin, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put your email up there. I think that's probably going to be the best way for folks to reach you. Not everybody's on PayPal. Not everybody's on Facebook, but everybody has an email address.
Absolutely.
Wess _ Justin @yahoo.com. For folks that are listening on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon Music, it is capital WESS _ Justin, the way it should be spelled, JUSTIN @yahoo.com. That's Wess _ Justin @yahoo.com. Look, man, what do you got coming up, and when does the next circuit begin for you?
Yeah, I have Sunset Ridge in Illinois. It's actually, we leave next Wednesday to head to that one. But yeah, that'll be the next race. So right now, this last race, I got taken out in the first corner. So we're fixing the quad now, trying to get it fixed and to get it back up, get in the trailer, get everything ready, and then ready to hit the road by Wednesday night to get there Thursday afternoon.
Let's talk about some of the awards and accolades, that you've earned, while you've been doing this, can you share some of that with us?
Yeah, I got, I won the C championship. So I won the C national championship. I won the B national championship. Then I moved up to plus 25, which was mostly like an A rider or old pros. I got second place in that. And then last year I moved up to Pro-Am, which I was actually the first veteran ever, first military veteran to ever reach the Pro-Am level in National Series. I hit a kicker off a jump. I landed it wrong. Last year, I tore 5 out of the 6 ligaments out of my left ankle. So that kind of killed my last year for the running. And then this year, I didn't get a lot of practice in over the winter, but I started Pro-Am this year again, just didn't have the speed. So I went from Pro-Am, and so I dropped down. Now I'm running 3 classes to give me a little bit more speed for hopefully next year to go ahead and jump back in if I can to do Pro-Am, or jump into another A series and try to get a lot faster so I can be the first pro veteran ever. So that's my main goal, is to hit the top I can, be a pro, and be the first veteran to ever do it.
Dude, safe to say that you got your 3rd Purple Heart when you took out your left ankle?
Yeah, a couple of the wrecks, I probably took it out.
Oh, non-combat related.
Yeah, non-combat.
Yeah. Got to put that one in the medical record for sure.
But I do want to let everyone know, like, if you do decide to help me out and sponsor me, what you'll get is your names on my quad, on the trailer, all the shout outs like I'm going to do at the end of this podcast. Every time I do anything, I give all the shout outs to all my sponsors. If I get on a podium, everybody gets their names spoken out there, so everybody hears it at the pro races. And then at the end of the year banquet, where everybody's there, everybody that's anybody is usually at the banquet, all the bigwigs. So they all hear who all sponsors everybody, and everything like that. So all my social medias get all the shout outs also. So I try to get everybody out there that helps me out. I try to get them out there as much as I can.
Sure. And that's, the honorable thing to do, and I know you are a very honorable guy, and I know your heart's in the right place. And, I get so many folks that reach out that want to come on this podcast, and there's a lot of vetting I got to do, and, once we go through that process and I start to really dive in and read the stories, of folks like you, it really drives me to want to promote guys like you. Third party advocacy, folks, works. This man, this Marine combat veteran machine gunner, has given everything for this country. And even if it's $5, guys, I know this man would be sincerely appreciative of whatever donations that he can get to help keep his dream alive. And like you said, to become, one of the first Marines to really accomplish something at the Pro-Am level. And, that speaks a lot on your willingness to put in the work to become the best. Again, that's the alpha male in you. That's the Marine in you. I want to be the best in everything I do, even though that this is my new medicine. This is my 20 pills a day. Exactly. It's still a competitive drive, and that's what keeps us alive. That's the actual purpose in life that you have found and have recaptured and have reinvented yourself to become the man you are today. And that right there, my friend, is what it's all about, because I know your family is very proud of you, and your friends and folks like me, look up to you for that. And, again, man, I wish you nothing but the best, and I do hope that folks can reach out to you and maybe even find a new friend in you. I know you're a very outgoing guy. You like to talk on the phone. And, I'm not really a big phone guy, so I know we text back and forth an awful lot, but we have shared some pretty deep conversations over the last year, man. And dude, very awesome stuff, man. And guys, look, I don't completely dive into like the background of these stories, because a lot of these stories are very personal, and there's a lot of trauma that's related into a lot of these stories. So what we do is we just kind of go around the outside layer of a lot of these stories. We're not here to completely open up scabs. We're here to heal. Man, there's a lot of veterans out there right now, Justin. And this is where we're going to wrap up. I get emails constantly. It's a blessing and a curse to be the name and the face of VA reform, VA policy. With that comes a duty, and that duty doesn't come with a paycheck. It comes with having a heart and responding to broken veterans out there that need help. I'm often looked at too as a beacon of hope for them because they're going through something similar that I went through, and they share a lot of very sensitive information with me. Very vulnerable, and it's very sad what I'm seeing out there continue. What is happening to our nation's veterans? Veteran suicides at an all-time high, and right now I'm getting so much bad news. I know there's good that happens in the VA, but there's also a lot of bad. I don't hear the good. When something goes good, someone's not going to email and spend an hour typing out how great it was. I get the negative stuff, so I'm always trying to give the best godly counsel I can to veterans out there that are going through a lot of bad stuff. You've been there, you've done it, you've been in the trenches. Do you have some words of encouragement for somebody out there, for a veteran or a civilian or a first responder, or really any human being out there that may be going through a rough patch in their life right now? What type of encouragement could you offer them right now as we wrap this show up, Justin?
I mean, I tell every veteran I see that's having a hard time, I tell them, you got to find an outlet. You got to find something that makes you happy. I was like, I don't care if it's golfing. I don't care if it's bowling. I don't care what it is. You just can't stop fighting. You just got to keep going. You got to, no matter how hard it gets, you can't stop. You got to fight for it, because if you do give up and you do, God forbid, end it, it's just not you that you're ending it for. You're leaving somebody behind, and it's going to crush them. So before you do it, and I tell a lot of my guys, I talk to them all the time, make sure they're doing all right. I check in on them all the time, and they're like, man, you're like the only one to check in on me. I'm like, well, I just want to throw it out like once a month. I'll throw it out like, hey, how you doing? And that's all it takes, So if somebody's having a hard time, just throw out, hey, how you doing today? Something stupid, but it will mean the world to them. And you never know. That might be, a saving grace. Be like, oh, well, he's really, he really he's really thinking of me, or I do mean something, or whatever. But I would say just don't stop fighting. You got to keep going.
Amen, brother. That's why I do what I do, for the good of the country. I like I said, I get so many emails and phone calls and text messages from just random veterans. Hey, my name is blank and blank. I saw your story. And if I don't respond to them, what if I was their last?
I do that all the time.
Yeah. What if I was their last beacon of hope? Like, I'm going to try one more time. Because so many of these veterans are ignored.
Yeah.
And I respond to everybody. It doesn't matter who you are or what it is. If you are having these problems in the VA or in the veteran community, and these veterans who are broken reach out to me in a crisis, I have never not responded to anybody, because I say, what if I'm their last call or their last email looking for help? And it's consuming. It takes a lot, but it's worth it to me, because I was in those shoes, and I was in that chair, and I was in that pain. And you said you've got to find an outlet. This podcast is my outlet. I found this 18 months ago, and I'm on episode 234. I've got to do this. This is something that God has called me to do. You're doing something that God has called you to do to save yourself. And, there's a lot of work that we put into this. We all want to be the best again at what we do, because we're competitors. And, that's what keeps us moving in the right direction. That's what keeps us moving in a positive direction. And when these veterans, the first thing that they say, I wasn't expecting you to email me back. I never thought you'd call me back. I never thought you'd text me back because they have been ignored for far too long, and it's got to stop. And our country's got to do better. We owe our veterans a hell of a lot more than what they're receiving right now, and it's an embarrassment. And again, we can't rely on our federal government to save the lives of our American veterans. So it takes podcasts like this and fellow Americans out there and patriots to stand up and to help give and donate to great worthy causes like my friend Justin Wess. So without further ado, man, look, man, I sincerely appreciate everything you have done and continue to do, for our country. And, I wish you the best of luck moving forward.
Thanks, Sally. Can I give a shout out to the sponsors real quick?
Please.
All right, cool. First, I'd like to thank my wife, Danielle, my kids, Rowan, Charlie, and Remy. Brian from Wheels Up, he's my mechanic. He actually travels with us in the RV. He races, but he also works on my engines. Jody and Debbie from JB Racing, and also from 88 Live the Ride. They always have everything you need at the track. Catch a Lift Foundation, Semper Fi Fund, D at Rage ATV Racing, RP Exhaust Performance, Vincent Clutches, SSI Graphics, the VFW 3767 in Hubbard, Ohio, Fly Racing, DeSantis Construction, All Out Nutrient, and CST Tires and Risk Racing. Those are my sponsors for this year. They help out a lot, but I just want to make sure I give them a shout out.
That's awesome, man. Dude, I love it.
I appreciate you.
Doing it for the right reasons, man. And I know you're saving lives out there on the track too. You are somebody that a lot of veterans look up to. And you're also somebody that a lot of just everyday regular Joes can look up to, because you're a strong man, you're courageous, you're brave. You've been there, you've done it. You've been in the trenches, you've been through hell, you've picked yourself up. That's not an easy thing to do. And you're back in the saddle, man. I love to see it.
All right, man. I appreciate it very much.
Stan, I'm going to wrap this show up here. I'm going to throw you in the back room. Don't leave. I want to go ahead and chat with you here for a few minutes after this. But folks, Justin Wess, great guy. Go ahead. If you want to donate to him, it is Wess_Justin at yahoo.com. This guy's amazing. He's doing great things, and he will forever be grateful for your generosity. Now, folks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the program. It has never been easier to listen to this podcast. We're on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. I'm even on TikTok. But warning. On TikTok, it's spicy over there. I get a little spicy, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm also on X. I'm growing it, still kind of new there, still trying to figure that one out. But our best platform, I believe, is going to be your Facebook, your iHeartRadio, your Spotify. But guys, all you got to do is simply search Today with Tally. I'll pop up. You can go in there. If you want to give us a 5-star rating, if you want to leave us a message, if you want to come on the show, just reach out. And like I said, if you do want to, leave a rating, I would sincerely appreciate it. It definitely helps build the show and our algorithms, especially on YouTube. We're really trying to grow that platform as well, folks. Also, when you're on BrianTalley.com, you can go check out my new book. I didn't choose this job. It chose me, BrianTalley.com. Our podcasts are also now on the website. So if you don't have any of those platforms there that you can listen, all you got to do is go to BrianTalley.com, hit Today with Tally podcast, and you've got every single podcast we've ever done, all 234 of them, folks. Remember to stay inspired, stay encouraged, stay motivated, and always stay in the fight. Until next time, for the Today with Tally podcast, this is Brian Tally. Good night. Semper Fi. God bless. This is the Today with Tally podcast.